We talk diets, compare sizes, and debate temptation versus the price of success. Because it's The Devil Wears Prada this week on JaZ Make a Podcast.
More?
More?
Just
Too much? Too much me?
no.
More still?
I think it's no. Yeah.
You're happy? You're happy with that
Yep.
level?
That's
Okay.
good. Yep.
Have you watched Make Some Noise with Sam Reich? I think it's Reich. It might be Reich.
I have not.
It's sort of a modern equivalent to Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh,
Which is interesting because Whose Line, actually, I think Whose Line just ended its run. It's been going from like 1980 something up until I think it was last year they finally ended Whose Line.
whose line is it anyway?
With Colin Mockery, Ryan
Oh
Stiles.
yeah.
And they were on it the whole time. But anyways, it's like a modern equivalent to that. I like one of the things they'll give an improver a prompt, and then the follow-up prompt will just be a little more, a little less. And every improver goes down the row. And it's a great, really good show. Really
It's a
entertaining.
good bit.
It's a great bit. I love it. And I watch it like on social media. So it's like, it's the perfect length for that. I need 30 seconds of improv in my life. Unless it's like an old white Scottish man from Canada.
To just stave away the existential dread.
Yes. Yeah. I go back frequently. I don't know if you saw the Whose Line back in the day during like its Drew Carey run.
Oh, yeah.
Where Ryan Stiles, what was it? I think it was party guests where everybody gets a quirk at a party, and Ryan Stiles was the guy whose head kept getting stuck to everything. And he got stuck to the neon sign, but the neon sign shattered and like cut his scalp open. Great bit. Classic Whose Line. You're looking like you're very dressed for the mountains right now. I feel underplatted in the studio.
Well, I don't know about you. I like to pack as little as possible.
Yes.
So I only took one set of clothes.
Yeah. How long were you there for?
72 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So in my view, especially when one is skiing, or if one was doing any other activity that required, like, you do not need multiple sets of clothes.
Generally speaking, no.
So anyway, this is what I was wearing on Friday.
Yeah.
And I continue to be wearing it today.
I will argue. I assume you stayed in a hotel.
Yes.
See, because we ended up in the mountain. Like, once again, we made weekend plans without consulting each other and ended up in the same place.
We have to stop doing that.
Yes. I was camping, though. So I did bring extra clothes because if I got
That's
wet
fair.
or cold,
True.
there is nowhere to go to, which I have a special understanding of that now because I just completed over this weekend what I called the Rocky Mountain Toilet Bowl Tour. I had a nice bout of food poisoning while
lovely.
camping in the mountains.
Wonderful.
So it was a matter, I was coming down from Mirror Lake on Saturday when it really, really kicked in. Before that, I was like, I'm a little tired, a little achy. The fresh air will be good for me. And on the way down from Mirror Lake,
the fresh air was not good for me.
the fresh air was not fresh anymore if you were around me for the weekend. But those mountains, beautiful, scenic, fantastic.
Yeah, well, the picture you sent me, was that a dawn or a sunset?
That would have been dawn. I'm trying to remember what picture I sent you. It was probably on the way up to Mirror Lake.
Yeah, it was lovely.
It's beautiful there.
Yeah.
Louise is always a must stop.
Yes.
It's a great area.
Yeah, I agree.
You just have to get there before the crowds. Otherwise, you cannot park there anymore.
100%.
It is nuts how busy it gets.
Yep.
But
Yep.
the good news is, like, people who are touristing and crowding, they don't show up till like 10, 10:30.
Yeah.
Maybe even 11.
Yeah, if you get out the door at least in our case, at about 8 in the morning,
Oh, easy. You can get
you beat
anywhere.
all the crowds.
Beat everyone. No tourist is going to get your parking spot.
Nope.
Nope. But you went to the mountains. Did you watch anything, consume any fun media in the last... Geez, it's been 2 weeks since we recorded.
It has been 2 weeks.
It's been too long. I feel like we're rusty.
No, I haven't. Well, I don't know if we talked about it on the last recording, but Project Hail Mary, can't say enough about it. Great movie, great book. Definitely a movie going experience with my daughter Maeve and I that was super fun, has resonated, and that it reminds me of how lucky we were growing up. You had lots of those kind of movies.
Yeah.
That hey, this is great. I had a ton of fun. I'm happy to recommend it. The person I went with, we had a lot of fun together. Like, it's still a shared experience. So real throwback, and yeah, it was great. How about you?
Well, I have not seen Project Hail Mary yet. You have loaned me the book. I have not started the book yet, but I will. And I think we will probably dive into a deeper conversation once I've seen it.
Yeah.
But after watching the movie for this record, I went back to basics. And
Basic Instinct.
Yeah, Basic Instinct. No, not quite that. But you know what movie is still awesome? I debated this. Now, do you want me to just tell you, or do you want to play a little game?
Hey, I want to play a little game.
Okay, I want to give you 3 clues.
Okay.
And you make a guess after each clue.
Okay.
Most of the clues will, well, one clue I know will not help you at all.
Return of the Jedi.
And that's, damn it.
Okay. Whew.
Avoided a bullet there.
Wow.
Phantom was the last episode we released.
Yeah.
And we talked on that about Billy Zane's best movie. And after Phantom, we could only remember Titanic.
Yes.
We forgot this movie from the
Okay.
90s that I just watched.
Okay.
Any guess as to what that is?
No.
Okay, second clue. Personally, and I'd forgotten about this too, probably my favorite Val Kilmer role.
Is it The Saint?
It is not The Saint, but I do love Val Kilmer in The Saint. I don't think Billy Zane was in The Saint, although Billy Zane could have been in The Saint.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think about something that's maybe a little bit off the beaten path.
I think
And Val Kilmer.
you're thinking, honestly, you're going a little too far off the beaten path.
Get a little more.
But you will
Beaten.
Everybody forgets about this movie, but this was I believe, a pretty big hit in its day. Oh boy, what's the next one? Do I want to totally give it away? One of 2 movies made, I believe, in the same year, featuring Wyatt Earp.
Oh. Well, there was Wyatt Earp.
The Wyatt
The
Earp.
Wyatt
Yeah,
Earp.
the one and
And then
only.
there was Tombstone.
That's the one right there.
Oh.
That movie is
Billy
still
Zane.
awesome.
Oh, Billy Zane was in Tombstone.
He's the actor
Yes.
in Tombstone that gets killed by the Cowboys.
Right.
Yeah, that movie. After watching this movie, I went
I'll be
to
your
that.
Huckleberry.
I'm your Huckleberry. Like, oh, such a like.
He was great in it.
I love what. Why do you go keep fighting for this man, Doc? Well, he's my friend. Hell, I got lots of friends. I don't. It's like, oh, Val Kilmer was so good in that movie. I was so glad to go back to that movie and see this movie is still awesome.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, especially like the bloodlust montage right in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
The killing spree.
Yeah, everything goes crazy. And apparently, this is one of the most historically accurate Westerns there's ever been made. I'm about halfway through. This is why I went back to it. I'm about halfway through the book, The Making of Tombstone. And there's a point where the original director and writer gets fired. And then, I'm trying to remember, Kamanos, I believe is his name, takes over, who's like Stallone's ghost director guy. But everything prior to that, the director's whole thing was, no. This is going to be what a real Western town was like. This is going to be true to the last detail. What's like that's why Tombstone.
That sounds expensive.
Very, very much so.
And
huge
gross.
budget. And that's the thing. So all the costuming was authentic. It's like Kurt Russell did interviews about how hot he was shooting in Arizona in like full 3-piece wool suit because there was nothing cooler invented yet that they would have access to.
And black.
Yeah. But also like the town is bustling. It's very metropolitan for the time. It's not like when you think Western, you think this dusty, dreary sort of thing. And the director's whole vision was, no. That's not what it was. This was a bustling, thriving silver town. And so that was why it apparently is one of the most accurate you can see.
It's probably why they had that great scene with the 3 brothers shooting pool and drinking beer.
Yeah.
It's like, can we just write a scene in where we could be inside drinking like a cold beverage of some nature?
Preferably in like a soundstage back in Los Angeles. Keep it a little cooler. But yeah, great movie. Still holds up.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah. I've watched that semi recently, and it's always a fun watch.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
I want to say I went probably a decade or so without seeing it, so it was good to see it again. It felt like a comforting blanket watching Tombstone again, and I had to do it because I brought shame upon myself for my choice for this week. I did this to us.
I I think we're going to have a good conversation because I'm feel differently.
And you're wrong for feeling differently. You're like somebody who wants to be skinny, but isn't skinny. So I just can't respect you because you're not skinny. Because we're talking Devil Wears Prada.
Devil Wears Prada.
Before Devil Wears Prada 2 comes out.
Yeah, the long-awaited, highly anticipated.
Yes, the sequel that someone somewhere was asking for.
Everybody's been clamoring for.
Well, I know this is a popular movie. I know people love this movie. And I really came to it with open arms. I wanted to embrace it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. This is only the second time I've seen this movie.
So what first time did you see it in like its original theatrical run or when it was sort of...
I want to say it was within the last 10 years sometime was the first time I saw it.
And what was your reaction the first time?
Very similar.
Oh.
But I thought, that was a different me back then. Maybe I didn't appreciate it. It's getting the sequel.
I was a little indigestion when I was watching it.
I had just completed the Rocky Mountain Toilet Bowl tour, and I was not in the mood for Devil Wears Prada. No, I remember seeing it and thinking there is a lot to love about this, like going into it and then experiencing it and being like, oh man, I don't know why people love this movie.
Well, I'm not saying this is one of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah. I'm going to re-edit that so you say that this is one of your favorite films of all time.
This is one of my favorite films of all time, and you are very handsome, Zach.
You're quite good at turning me on.
But I think there's a lot more going on in it. I found some of it compelling and interesting. And actually, I thank you for texting me some of your reactions because, and it's not like I wanted to be purposefully contrarian, but I decided, okay, well, like I want to look at this with open eyes and try, can I see something else in it that isn't just what the good observations you're making about the film? And I felt like I could get there and felt like there was some other things going on.
And I'm totally open to the discussion. As part of I love that we're not on the same page. I think this is more fun for me personally to discuss things this way. Too often we're too similar.
It finally happened.
We even came down on the same side of Star Trek V. So it's going to be nice to have something to actually bite into here. I mean, I want to start with the thing I like.
Okay.
Overall, I want to talk this cast. This cast is phenomenal. Yes. I think this is the reason why many people are fooled into thinking this is a better movie than it is, because it is an A-list cast and every one of them is absolutely bringing it.
Yeah. I mean, when doesn't Meryl Streep bring it?
That is true.
But this is a great performance.
Yeah.
An iconic performance. And you can see what was asked of her for this character, and she delivers in spades.
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I agree. I think Anne Hathaway is great as the newbie who's just trying to break into like the journalism industry, and this is what she's taking as her chance to get there.
Yep.
I think Emily Blunt is also great as sort of the yin to Anne Hathaway's yang. Yang or yan?
Yang.
Yang. It is yin yang. Yes. All right. Now that we've sorted that out, I think she does a great job of being the one who this is what she wants to do. And she's getting upset, that Anne Hathaway is taking away her, her path to the top almost.
Yeah.
And also Stanley Tucci is awesome.
Yeah, he's a horrible author.
Horrible author?
Yeah.
What has he written that you read?
I read his What I Ate for 1 Year book.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, it was like when I watched Battlefield Earth. Here's time in my life that I can never get back.
He loves to talk about what he eats.
Yeah.
This is what I heard, and I've not fact-checked this, but a friend of mine a few years ago had throat cancer, and he was saying that around the same time Stanley Tucci also had the same throat cancer, which takes away your whole sense of taste for, I want to say it was probably a couple of years before he got any sort of semblance of taste back. And so he was saying for that Tucci's, was it Italy or Tasting Italy or whatever that series was? Apparently, for a lot of it, he was faking it.
Oh,
because he couldn't actually taste anything because he had this throat cancer. What an actor.
What a performance.
What a performance. And I'm going to reiterate, I have not fact checked that. I just took my friend's word that is what happened.
He's faking it.
But okay, Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci. End of things I enjoyed in this movie.
Really? Well, okay. How do you want to start? Do you want to start with you talking about all the things you hate? Do you want me to talk about some of the things that I like? How do we want to frame this conversation?
Well,
JaZ plan in real time.
Yes. Welcome to the peek behind the curtains. You brought your actual notes. I did not make notes this time.
I did not bring. I don't have notes. I just have a cast list so I can remember their names.
This is just Twitter that you're going through.
It's just Twitter
while you're on the phone here.
Listeners, tell me what I should think.
I mean, I'll start. My big thing is this feels kind of like the apex and the celebration of everything that was wrong with 2000s into early 2010s like body shaming culture.
Okay.
And I have an issue with that throughout the movie. And I feel the relationship between Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt to a lesser extent, there's some interesting story there that isn't related to that. But the rest of it is such an overarching thing that I have trouble going with it. I have an issue when you have Anne Hathaway on screen and everybody's talking about how fat she is.
Oh, sure.
Like I have a real problem with that. And I feel I would have that problem almost regardless of who was cast in that. But this is kind of like that line that they call it in, did you see Barbie?
Yes.
And they're talking about like how Barbie can have flaws and all that. But hey, if you do use this line, don't cast Margot Robbie as Barbie. It's kind of like that, but it wasn't done tongue in cheek.
Well, yeah. Oh, I mean, I number one, I agree with you that was certainly part of the conversation at that time, and it really hasn't aged well, nor should it. I thought that maybe there was a little bit of a self-aware commentary in that as well, because Anne Hathaway is so objectively attractive. Like, how can you possibly say this person is anything other than super attractive and very fit? And like, it's just, it's such an incredulous comment. Like, well, okay,
yeah.
Like, there has to be an inside joke here, right?
But I think you're looking into the meta at that point. That's not in the movie.
True. You're 100% right.
When this was written as a movie, they didn't know who was going to be playing Anne Hathaway's character. And the cast is so good, I don't remember what the character names are. It's Emily Blunt, Anne Hathaway, Stanley Tucci, and Meryl Streep. And then the rest of them. And then
everybody else.
Everybody else that's in there. And I get that a little bit, but I feel there's nothing in there. They go against Anne Hathaway a little bit, talking about how you don't appreciate the artistry that goes into this. Meryl Streep has this whole thing about, oh, that sweater that you have is actually, it was made specifically for you through 50 years of fashion evolution and choosing these. That I like that. I can go with that. I can understand like, oh, she doesn't respect this artistry, this industry. I am not a fashion person, so I'm not.
No, nor am I.
Clearly, with your plaid, I'm wearing a Super Mario t-shirt, which has gone through 50 years of fashion to be chosen specifically for me.
Yes.
I like that. I get that. This whole thing, she doesn't respect the industry she's trying to break into. She looks at it as a toss-away job. I'm on board. That makes sense. I don't think Meryl Streep actually has anything to say about the actual body shaming, but everybody else is constantly saying, to paraphrase, not about the fat, just you're too fat. You don't fit in here because you're fat. Big fatty, fat.
I mean, look, I this probably isn't the topic for us to get hung up on because I fundamentally agree with you.
Yeah.
Although, let me throw out, sort of in a high level crass way, don't hate the player, hate the game. I mean, is there an element of, and again, this isn't really like, this is just me sort of searching, like looking through this movie and trying to think about it in different ways. It's actually not how I feel. But is there a message there of saying, hey, look, this is the fashion industry. There's a certain body type. Like, it's very, very challenging and difficult to be top of the heap around here. And this is the world that you are existing in when you have this job. Like, you might not like it, but
this is what it is.
Is there any validity to that statement?
I mean, and it's hard for me to go back in time to put myself in that. Like, when was this released? I don't have that in front of me, but it was
2005.
I was going to say like 03 or something. Yeah, in that era there.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is 100% true for that era. I would argue it's not true anymore. Fashion industry has evolved and changed. It's probably not perfect. Still, I can almost guarantee it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But it has changed and started accepting other body types.
Yeah.
So, but in that time and space, yeah, I guess I think part of your casting problem is the fact it doesn't fit this commentary, and that there's no story reason.
Well, that's true
For this,
100%.
You can, like, say the story reason is in there. You can say she doesn't respect this industry that she's working in, and that is a 100% valid thing. Okay, I'm going to move off that. After one thing, there is only one joke that worked for me along those lines. It's when Emily Blunt talks about her new diet she's on.
Oh, yeah.
Where she doesn't eat. And when she feels a little bit hungry every few days, she has a cube of cheese. And she's one good stomach flu away from being her like ideal size.
Which is a very, very, it's funny and a very sad comment, because I'm sure there was actually a lot of young women who were torturing their bodies that way. And and Emily Blunt is also gorgeous and super healthy, and in fact also awesome in The Day After Tomorrow, if you remember that.
Oh yeah,
Total
Day After
badass.
Tomorrow. The Fall Guy. She's great in Fall Guy too.
I want to go back to the conversation when Meryl Streep delivers the conversation to Anne Hathaway's character Andy about her sweater, and talks about the fashion industry. I've always loved that scene. And I love the comment, because I actually agree with her. Like, I agree, not that I know the fashion industry, but I really agree with her statement that this is a far more integrated system than Andy was giving it credit for. Yeah. And also she was being unfairly dismissive of this industry. And so I really love that scene. And then for this viewing, I started thinking about, is that the entree into more of an analysis of Anne Hathaway's character becoming more of a professional? Like, there's a bit of an evolution to her saying, okay, like, I need to elevate my game a little bit to succeed in this. Like, there was a moving from sort of a college student to now more of a professional. And I just got a real lesson in actually this is far more serious, and the stakes are a lot more interesting and dynamic than I was giving it credit for. And I need to I actually show some respect for this individual, Miranda Priestly, who actually is, whether you like her or not, legitimately successful and excellent at her job. And so the pathway to excellence requires me to elevate my game to be a bit more of a professional.
Miranda Priestly, calls her out on it and shows that this whole fashion is an art form and industry. And this is going to lead me to my next problem, because I totally agree. This feels like the character arc. Anne Hathaway is coming in young, naive, as a lot of people coming out of school do, where they think it's like, I'm going to do this thing because I have this vision of this is what my thing is, and it's going to be different than what you think. I deal with that with students all the time. In the film industry, people come out thinking, I'm going to be a director. And that's awesome. Great. And by the time they're out there, they realize like, oh, my place isn't directing. That's not actually what I'm great at. That's not what I need to do. I need to understand what the director does. I'm an AD. I'm a writer or cinema, whatever it is. I remember when I came out, I thought I'm going to be a Robert Rodriguez. I'm going to be somebody who does everything. And you realize that's exhausting. That's too much work. There's only one Robert Rodriguez.
Too much Rodriguez.
Too much. So I like that. Yeah, I like this evolution into her needing to realize, like, regardless of what the job is, she needs to take it seriously and stop like just making fun and complaining about this.
Yes, 100%.
And be a professional about this.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie doesn't agree that that's the right move. And this isn't... Now I can get out of the metagame where the body shaming stuff bugs me. Now we get into my story issues here. Everybody hates Anne Hathaway no matter what she does. She cannot win.
Yes.
Her...
She doesn't even win with her her boyfriend.
Oh yeah,
which is a whole another whole story point. But
the boyfriend is upset because she missed his birthday. She has a demanding job for like one of the top publishers or editors in the industry who can make her career, regardless of it being at this fashion magazine or a Vanity Fair in New York or whatever. She could connect her and get her places. And he gets upset because she had to work late once and missed his birthday. And then they blow it up like, oh, you're missing things. She didn't miss anything this entire movie.
Well, no,
except the birthday.
And it's a part to the movie that fundamentally frustrates me because, I mean, you and I we work demanding jobs and both professionals. And it's like, when things are busy, you are going to miss out on certain things. Yeah. That's life. Like, it doesn't matter. You could be a teacher, lawyer, doctor, filmmaker, whatever. Yeah. Like, and so his character comes across as so immature.
Oh, incredibly.
Which in part I'd be like, well, fine. Like you're a young kid. You probably don't get it. But there needed to be some correction there, because he is in the wrong.
100% he's in the wrong.
She does not deserve to feel any shame at this point in her career for missing things.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree. Like that's especially when you're starting. I remember,
especially when you're starting.
And this was probably an example of maybe workplace abuse now that I'm looking back and thinking about it. But I remember a 72-hour shift I had when I was starting in the industry. I'd been working graveyard shift on a TV show, which was great because I was editing and you come in late, you work like an hour with people, then all the people go away, you work overnight, you got the place to yourself. I remember listening to every David Bowie album, start to finish on this shift. But 72 hours, it's a whole story. Get into it, not on pod. But those are the sorts of things I did. And that you see other people doing because it's like, hey, I'm in here. I've got to prove my value to these people. That was an extreme example. I don't recommend anyone do a 72-hour shift.
I'm not sure. I don't think it's an extreme example because it is so much. Like I have stories just like that. My sister, who's a physician, and when she was a resident, 28-hour shifts, that was just sort of the norm. Mm-hmm. In fact, she was part of a cohort that they reduced it down to a maximum of 24-hour shifts, which was like, better. Oh, great. But I mean, everybody goes through this. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he couldn't bring grace and understanding to that, it takes away from his character.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, that's not cool. Now, of course, the movie doesn't work very well if he's like, hey, I understand. Like you work really, really hard. But it's so stupid.
It's such, and I think this is probably why this movie was well received. It was probably received well by people who were younger at this time. And seeing Anne Hathaway go corporate, because us, middle-aged men now looking at it's like, no, she's just becoming a professional. This is totally fine. Like, and she fights with the boyfriend. At one point, says I'm sorry I missed your birthday. He's like, oh, it's not even about the birthday. It's like, then what is it? Then what is it? What you're are you saying you're around all the time? You're a chef. Yeah. Like you're working weird hours.
Yeah. If anything that we've learned probably since 2005. Is the chef, he probably wouldn't be anywhere around. His hours would be insane.
Yes.
In fact, and if he really wanted to advance his career, there's no way she'd be seeing him.
No.
So the idea that I'm a chef, I work regular hours and I wish we could have this nice work-life balance. Yeah, well, you're 22, man. That's not how it works.
Yeah. Also, I want to do the translation at some point and put $2,005 on that sandwich because he said that sandwich he made for her, which was another one of the sticking points. He made her a sandwich and she wasn't hungry or something like that. And he said it had $9 of cheese in it. Is that $100 of cheese today's dollars?
That's a lot.
It's a lot of cheese. It's probably too much cheese.
Probably too much cheese.
Maybe this is why he's not succeeding as a chef. There's too much cheese in that sandwich.
Cheese in that sandwich.
Too much cheese in everything.
But I really feel like she is going to link to another thing, but I really like the idea that she learns a lesson, and I think the movie does a pretty decent job of her saying, I need to take my career and career advancement seriously. Mm-hmm. And that means, to your point, I don't get to come and dump on this industry. And I've been shown that actually you know nothing about this industry. So like most young people, you know nothing about this industry.
Yes.
And you need to come and be prepared and perform. And wherever you end up, those are skills that are going to serve you well. Like, and I think that does come across, at least it probably wouldn't have resonated for me in 2005. It certainly resonates for me now. It's like, like put on some professional clothes, show up on time, be prepared. Like that's table stakes.
Well, and it feels like for somebody who wants to be a journalist, this is again where the story stops like a little short. I know she gets the job. What magazine is it that she gets the job at the end? Is it Vanity Fair?
Oh, I can't remember.
But some magazine somewhere.
Mad.
Mad. Her and Ian Boothby working together. It feels like it stops short because it feels like, oh no, this experience is a thing. Like, and maybe I'm again putting the era spin on it, but it feels like a Sex and the City sort of thing. Like, if this was a Sex and the City episode, it would have ended with Sarah Jessica Parker's character writing the article about her experience working at Runway, the magazine.
Yeah.
And it feels like I'm missing something like that. Where's that journalistic thing she learned there, and how is she interpreting that and putting it into because by the end, she doesn't really do anything.
No, and I'd say that's where the movies maybe that's where it falls short of perhaps being iconic or dare I say perfect.
I'm sorry. That's the spot where it falls short of being perfect.
No, thematically speaking. Because on the one hand, like I really like the scene where Meryl Streep kind of dresses her down, and there's a real learning moment. We've talked about that. And then there's the second scene that I can think of, almost a bookend, is Meryl Streep's husband asking her for a divorce. At least that's my recollection.
Yeah.
Anyway, marital strife. And there's a moment of great vulnerability that Anne Hathaway witnesses. And Miranda Priestly does not let her in. Like, she continues through the balance of the movie to keep that wall up.
Yeah.
And I think that's, at least for the Andy character, I think that highlights for her there is a true cost to that level of success.
Yes.
And so she goes from, maybe I can say, like a growing respect to understanding that Miranda has sacrificed everything for her professional success. To the point where she does not have an ability to be empathetic or emotionally involved with her subordinates. Yeah. And I don't mean that in a weird way, but like in a very human way. And it's at the cost of her marriage.
Yes.
And so she has to sort of reckon with that, which I think is really important for all young professionals. And then certainly I said to young lawyers when I was got to a point where I was in a mentoring role, like, you have to decide on the career you want. And you look at more senior people and you need to say to yourself, is that the life I want to live? Is that how hard I want to work?
Yeah.
Is that how much money I want to make? Like, so looking at this now again as a middle-aged man, I should say middle-aged human, because I don't mean it in a gendered way. I mean actually in a professional way. Great scene for her to say, this is part of my learning. What kind of life do I want to live? And what am I prepared to give to that career to achieve, my goals and objectives?
Yeah, I that part really works for me. And that's where I think Meryl Streep's character is the best character in the movie, in terms of there's layers there and you get to see, the sacrifice that went into this. I say the same thing to my students. I just came from your stomping grounds, where my students are setting up for a production right now. And I walk them through the setup and everything. And even these students who are about to graduate, I think, had that moment of, holy cow, everything you just listed, all this stuff. And we're shooting for 2 hours and covering a live thing that's happening. Like, we don't have to direct it. We just have to cover it. And the amount of work there. So we tell them the same sort of thing. I think when we talk about that scene, it almost fools me into thinking the movie works overall, because that scene is fantastic. When you get that, the vulnerability and showing the sacrifice that she's had to make to have this. And then to have Anne Hathaway's character then, I don't even want to say rebel, but respect that and say, that's not my path, which then leads to her quitting the job.
Yeah.
But I would say that doesn't undo who she's become. So in terms of what her friends are complaining about, it hasn't turned her back into, I'm going to be a slob at home in a hoodie eating $1,000 grilled cheese sandwiches. Because my boyfriend
filled with Gruyere.
So much Gruyere. Greasy Gruyere. And that part does work. I can't argue. It does work. But it did make me think, too, in terms of one of the big calling cards for Anne Hathaway's character here is people talk about she's smart. That's the thing. When she applies, it's like, and she thinks she's too smart for the industry and all this, but she is supposed to be smart. But I feel we also don't really see that a lot throughout all this. Case in point, Exhibit A, Your Honor. The twins fool her into coming upstairs. She is told explicitly, you are bringing the book to Miranda's house. You walk in, you put it on the table with the flowers, and you leave. You're not supposed to ever be seen. She doesn't know which table with the flowers. The twins, the two kids, look down the stairwell and say, that's the table. And she says, oh, okay, thanks. Good. I'm with you. There's multiple tables. The twins then say, well, one of them says, or you could bring it upstairs. And she says, I'm not supposed to. And then the other twin says, oh, Emily always does. And the other one says, what? Awkward moment. Elbow. Kid goes, oh, yes, she always does that. So Anne Hathaway, of course, brings it upstairs and witnesses a fight or something happening.
A little bit of suspension of disbelief.
No,
right? Like
the movie has not earned that suspension of disbelief.
I think she does come across smart, but I always take it as like, okay, fine. Like she's book smart. But like lots of young people who come right out of university, you got no clue about some of the unspoken rules, the etiquette, the culture things like that. That's all School of Hard Knocks, right? So I don't mind that from
except she was told specifically by an adult who knows what the job is. Put it here and leave. And a couple 10-year-olds trick her. This is like Parent Trap level shenanigans.
Arguably, she's thinking in the moment and assessing information as it's coming to her. You're suggesting that evidence of her not being smart is I would just take instructions, follow instructions. Maybe arguably that's not smart. And there's an inquisitiveness to it, right? Because she, who wants to be a reporter, is probably at some level actually pretty fascinated by this.
Okay, are you adding subtext that isn't here?
I am adding subtext.
Because I can agree
Anne
with you
Hathaway,
in
if you're
theory.
listening.
John is standing up for you.
I saw what you were doing there.
I saw a very confused young woman get fooled by two 10-year-olds into coming upstairs to where there was a fight going on between Meryl Streep and her husband.
One would have thought you would have heard that. Like,
yeah, or as soon as you saw a little bit of it, turn around, back down the stairs, put that book down, and get the heck out of there. Oh, man. And I think this goes back to, in the end, I'm wondering if we can come to a middle ground to agree the film is at least tonally inconsistent throughout.
Oh, 100%.
These characters are not, with the exception of Meryl Streep, these characters kind of change when the scripts need them to change.
Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely a question of what are you trying to talk about here? What are you trying to explore? Because, you and I have talked about sort of different takes on what's at play here, what's underlying the film. But the fact that it's not actually pretty apparent, I think is a failure.
Yes, I agree.
Because the other thing I thought about today as I was driving home is I've always thought about The Devil Wears Prada, the devil being Miranda. It's just that she's a very demanding and aloof and hard boss. That's the devil. But I also thought, is it possible that what they're actually talking about here is a seduction, like the seduction of the devil? That, this industry can bring you some fame, some notoriety. You will travel in the stratosphere of human existence with the rich and the powerful. That's the seduction of it that arguably then Andy needs to resist and reject.
Temptation, yeah.
But even if that's correct, and even if that's what they were going for, I don't think that
it's not there.
It's not there.
Yeah,
like I
love that idea.
You kind of have to think about it. You have to sort of get the pieces together to try and make it work. But thematically, if that's what they were going for, they needed to make that way, way, way more apparent.
Yeah. And I agree. And I love that idea. I think that would be great if it was there. I think the closest thing they have to a functioning story with like a controlling idea in it is basically just, respect the industry you're in, respect the people you're working with, and you can learn a lot from them. Something along those lines. Even if it is, you learn a lot from them, even if what you learn is, that's not who I want to be.
100%.
And that's the closest we have there. But I think it's just so meandering. And the fact we're supposed to praise Andy at the end for getting out of that industry by her own accord and her own gumption. But it's kind of like, well, then what are we supposed to think of Emily Blunt's character? Her name is Emily, right?
Yes.
I was so confused for a lot of the movie because I thought, no, they didn't name Emily, did they?
Well, and you're right about, I mean, two things. I 100% agree with you. And I think if they wanted to do that, they actually need Meryl Streep and her to have a one-on-one scene where the Meryl Streep character, Miranda, brings down the guard and they have a very intimate conversation or discussion. And the Meryl Streep character, Miranda, has to present the case for why it is fine that all these sacrifices have occurred and who she is to get where she is. And that matters to her. We need to understand that from the character.
Because as it's set up, we don't get that.
We don't get that.
And Emily, who we are left to assume is going to continue with Miranda to try to become Miranda, we're supposed to think, oh, that's bad. Emily's bad. As opposed to, like, if she got that scene, because Anne Hathaway gets the scene where Meryl Streep's character gets really vulnerable. So yeah, if you were to foil that and have the other side and have a similar scene with Emily, you could understand that we could appreciate both sides.
Yeah.
You are not vilified. You are not a bad person if you choose to make your career what you want.
Well, that and that's really a great point, because the Emily character, again, comes across inconsistent using your observation. But really, she doesn't have to be anything other than, no, this is exactly what I want. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. Like, I don't have friends. I work all the time. This is what I want. Like, I'm fine with that. Actually, that'd be a great juxtaposition.
I would have loved that. And again, it would have foiled Andy and Emily against each other, where they're in the same pod. They're similar people. The difference is this isn't for Andy. This is for Emily. But the way it's played so black and white in terms of, oh, no, Emily, oh, no, you're starving yourself and you're in this horrible industry and you don't even realize it. It's like, and again, I'm not going to go back to the discussion of the fat shaming and the body culture issues. But outside that, it's like, well, why is she bad for wanting this career?
Yeah,
she loves this industry.
She's presented sort of as, for lack of a better word, like kind of a simpleton. Oh, like you're just blinded and you're not a critical thinker, which is, to your point, problematic. Like, well, why not?
She succeeded.
She can be totally aware of how bizarre and demanding the job is, but still want it.
Yes,
like,
totally.
I'm sure professional athletes, like that, there is a very demanding career choice. That's incredibly stressful, incredibly competitive, and you're going to have to be a little bit off the rocker to make it.
Let's even narrow it down. Look at professional football.
Yeah.
Like the highest concussion rate of any sport in the world, known body trauma for almost every position. It's like, but if that's what you love, okay, sure. I don't personally want that for you, but if that's what you were born to do,
give her.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Who am I to tell you that's dumb?
And I think it would have, that Emily character being a little bit different, drawn a little bit differently, like we're talking about, could have played a little bit more into the seduction angle. And again, I'm thinking of The Godfather, and hear me out on this.
Yeah, no, this is where I expected this to go.
Yeah, it always goes to The Godfather. But Michael Corleone doesn't want the life of his father.
Yes.
But he's also the one who has all the right skills to do the job.
Yeah.
And he very clearly, because it's a far better film, it is very clear he gets seduced by it.
Yes.
And it's very clear that's his progression as a character. I think you could do something somewhat similar in Devil Wears Prada, where Andy just
doesn't have the thing.
Actually has ability.
Sorry, Andy does.
She does.
Yes.
She does have ability. Like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can succeed, and like the world is my oyster. But I also know what the cost is, and there can be a very deliberate choice that actually isn't the life I want.
Yes,
I know it's there for me.
You're describing a far more interesting movie to me.
And Emily, we don't have, like, that's what she wants.
Yeah,
and she doesn't necessarily have all the skill set of Andy.
She's Fredo.
She's Fredo. I'd say she's more Sunny. But she has all the drive. She's all the drive to do it. Maybe has 80% of the skill set, 90% of the skill
just
set.
not quite there.
Not quite there, but hey, good on you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, again, you just described a far more interesting movie to me.
Plus, there could have been a big shootout at the end.
Oh, yeah, a whole leave the gun, take the Prada.
Miranda Priestly says hello.
I would love a shot-for-shot Godfather remake, but all about Devil Wears Prada. I would watch that.
Let's do that.
Let's do it. Okay,
Let's make it a project. Summer project.
Summer project. Okay, so I mean we've talked to death, I would say, about Emily Blunt, Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep. What about Tucci in this movie? What did you think?
Well, I mean, like I don't like Tucci's book, as I said, but I like Tucci. Oh, but I don't know how. I don't really. He's there because the narrative needs someone there to kind of do some explanation. But he's not super valuable as a character, in my opinion, and it's a little bit odd because he's fiercely loyal, but also kind of.
He also wants out.
Like poorly drawn. Like if you're looking for a guy who's just got the golden handcuffs, I think that needs to come off a little bit differently. Is he vital? Like I don't know if he is or isn't. Like is he one of those guys who's just like, yeah, we can't lose that guy. Like he's an integral part of this team. He seems to not like his boss, but also really respect his boss, which is fine. I get it, but like, why would you still be in the job? It just wasn't working for me. I don't know how you felt about it.
I enjoyed the performance again. It's one of those 4 performances that I really enjoyed in the movie. But I agree that he feels crucial while you're watching it. Then you look back, it's like, well, did he really do much? Like I get, like say this loyal foot soldier that gets burned at the end. Kind of like it's just another example of what Miranda sacrifices to maintain her greatness because she costs him the job that she had promised him.
Yeah, to take care of her competitor. Right?
Yeah, to make sure that she's going to stay in her job and all that, which protects him but takes away what she. So I get it's a jerk move from Miranda, but it's like, well, we kind of already got because that. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. The scene where that happens at the awards, whatever gala,
the Paris Fashion Week or something,
Paris
something,
Paris, something fashion, Paris, blah blah blah, dark side. That happens after Miranda's moment of weakness, right?
Yes,
with Andy. So we've already seen this, and Tucci gives a great performance, and I can feel it when he's like, "Oh, she'll make it up to me," and she's like, "Will she?" It's like, I don't know.
Well, and. I mean, it would have hit a little bit more for me if we had seen him as more of a upwardly mobile, super intensely, aggressively interested in advancing his career.
Yeah, he's being held back here.
Yeah, and I didn't get that.
No, I thought he was actually happy. Like when he's standing up for the industry and standing up for Miranda. And basically saying to Anne Hathaway, it's like, stop whining. There's a million people that want this job. If you don't want it, quit, leave.
Yep.
It's like, that felt to me like, no, if this industry isn't for you, you can leave. That's okay. That is a legitimate option here. So go. We're here because we choose to be. So when he gets burned, it kind of feels, again, retrospect, a little hollow.
That's right. Like, so ambition is truly at play. Like ambition is massively at play in this film. What would have worked better for me is having characters who were absolutely aware of how ambitious they were and absolutely invested in the industry they're in and had a sense of agency. Because what you get with the Emily Blunt character, what you get with Stanley Tucci's character is, well, what else? I can't do anything else. Like this goes to your point. Like I am stuck here in this, in this Dante's circle of hell. And I will just keep marching along. I would have liked it better if the Stanley Tucci character is just, like he gets burned at the end, but it's just that he's still fiery. Like he's still like that. Hey, this happens. Whatever. Like I'm still massively ambitious. That's how it. That like. Hey,
I'm going to show up tomorrow, and I'm going to do great.
Yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles, and I'm still like all in because I am going to get that job. Like. We need to understand that, like, actually that's the world, Andy, that you are either deciding you're in or you're out. And, and it doesn't matter if it's fashion, it could be anything. It's just, are you, and this goes to the football or professional sports idea as well. Like, are you 100% committed to being at the top of the heap?
Yes.
Because you and I both know, like,
that's a lot of work.
That's
a lot of commitment.
Like that, and that's in lots of industries, probably all of them. You want to be top of the heap? Yeah, like that's a level of commitment that some people have, some people don't.
It will be taking something away from you.
Yeah.
For that. And again, that's not a judgment on it. It's just a fact. Like, you have a pie. Your life is a pie. A delicious, delicious pie.
Delicious pie.
And you only have so many slices to go around.
Yeah.
If you want to get to the top, you need extra slices to put towards getting to the top. And that's going to come out of the home time, the recreational time, whatever that is. Like, you get to decide how to divide your pie.
Yeah, and I think that's why they have the boyfriend, Adrian Grenard or whatever his name is. I forget what his.
I always forget. Is it Grenard?
Grenard.
I always forget his name. He's like an indie darling. He's on Entourage.
Grenier.
Grenier. Adrian Grainer.
You almost don't need him.
Yeah.
Or either you like. I don't know what to say about him. Like, we get it, and it goes like, yeah, there isn't enough pie for you.
Yes.
So
it felt like they grew apart, and I felt okay with that. It wasn't like this was a love story for the ages where it's like, no, you've got to stay with him. Yeah. Make the choice where you stay with the boyfriend. It's like, it's your college boyfriend. Like,
yeah, well, whatever.
It might end. That happens.
And I don't know if you really need him. You still need a way to see the Andy character go through the reflection. What's the life I want?
Yes.
That part you still need.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you do it. What, like, whether it's some conversation of like, well, someday I hope to have a life partner. And like, maybe it's Stanley Tucci or someone saying, well, like, yeah, great. I've had 4. It could be, that could be kind of the joke throwaway. But again, that's all you need to tell her, like, okay.
What's important to you.
What's important.
Yep.
And the film doesn't have to actually cast a judgment.
No, and that's the problem.
This is about the character making the choice.
I feel the film is casting judgment on all the characters for right or wrong choices. And basically everybody that sides with Miranda is wrong.
Yes.
With one exception, which is the guy from Psych. He was in LA Confidential. I can't remember his name, but he's the we can't trust him. He's the one that tries to sleep with Andy and then does. Which...
What would you say tries? Because he does.
He does. He tries many times. In very creepy ways.
In fairness, I would as well.
I think
I just want to put it over
this guy.
I'm not sure. With Anne Hathaway, be like,
okay, less suave, but less creepy.
Yeah, more suave. Oh, was it James Naughton?
I don't think that's his name.
David Marshall Grant.
God, no, we're going to. I don't know if I know this guy's name, even if you say it. But he's been in a lot of stuff. Psych was his big show.
Simon Baker.
Simon Baker. That's him.
Yeah.
And I always remember him as he was in LA Confidential and really good in that too. And here he's such an underdeveloped character, and he's played again. The movie's casting judgment on him. He's bad because he wants to get with Anne Hathaway, and he doesn't respect that she has a boyfriend. Except he doesn't pressure her at all, but he lets her know that he's interested. And then when the boyfriend is gone, he's like, "Hey, I am going to be totally honest with you. I'm interested. Let's do this." Then they sleep together. And then the next day she finds out that he knows that the other woman is going to take over Runway and Miranda's going to get fired. How is he the bad guy?
He's not.
He's not.
And
except they directed him to be creepy.
You don't need the attraction, the sexual element to accomplish what is ultimately required out of that character.
Yeah.
So that's where I've always kind of thought like, I don't really need that. Like the relationship between Andy and her boyfriend is already asunder, and it never was all that great to begin with.
Yes.
So you don't need the temptation of sexual liaison with this.
He's played like he's breaking them up,
and it's like,
he's not.
But he's not.
It's
and
just
all I really need is some corporate espionage that she takes back to Miranda. Well, okay, like you could accomplish that in 1,000 different ways.
Well, and they're already friends. He helped her get the copy of the Harry Potter manuscript. So I would not put it past him to basically say, "Hey, I just thought you might like to know, aspiring journalist that you are, if you want to scoop." here's the cover for Runway after
Well,
Miranda's been fired.
And if the film truly is about ambition, if it's a meditation on ambition, then all you need to know is he is ambitious too, and how is he what's he trading? What's the information and what's the benefit he wants back?
Yeah.
And Andy can reflect on that. Like,
Yes.
okay, like, so this is about relationships. This is about who's got what information. How can I use that information to enhance myself? Do I want to be playing this kind of game? Like, that to me is more interesting if we're in a film about ambition.
And if he had given her that information, essentially in exchange for sleeping with him, that could have been interesting in that meditation. But it doesn't happen that way. She accidentally discovers that information the next day. So the film builds up to this the mass corruption moment is when she finally falls for the temptation of this other reporter. I can't remember what he is. I think he's a journalist or something.
He's a something.
Yeah, something, writer or whatever. Falls for him, sleeps with him. And because of that, she then goes through his stuff and finds...
As one does.
Yeah, obviously. So again, this guy is portrayed as a bad guy. He's shot like a bad guy. He's directed to act like the bad guy. It's like, he just slept with her. He didn't say you have to do this.
No.
Here's information if you sleep with me. He didn't ever say you need to do something in exchange for me because I got you the Harry Potter manuscript.
Well,
I don't know. I don't
exactly. If the film is about, to the earlier conversation, if the film's about temptation, then that too doesn't require the sex. It actually just requires the information and what he wants out of it. Which could be an ask for sex. It could be an ask for something else.
Well, the temptation for her in this movie is professional success.
Yeah.
Entirely.
So
play off that.
It's so confused about what it wants to. And again, I know I'm leaning on this too much, but you can look at The Godfather because The Godfather is about ambition. It is about rising to the top. It is about understanding the seduction of power.
Yes.
But it is so crystal clear and so focused on showing that in a brilliant way.
And layered and nuanced.
And I think that's what, like, Devil Wears Prada, I'd want to sit around the writer's room and actually say, I think you've got the kernel of a great idea here.
100%.
So what are we trying to talk about?
That's exactly it. In the end, it's kind of like we talked in our last record about Old Man's War and how I loved it, but I just wanted more. I wanted to say something and have a stance on something. And it felt like here, it's like, yeah, you've got fun characters in a fun, cosmopolitan, like high scale environment. I get that this is going to look great. The pacing is going to be fun. But can you just give me a controlling idea? Just give me one idea. What's the one statement you want to say?
Here, I'll get off the Godfather train, but I'll make another point. I'll go to Return of the Jedi, which I joked about at the beginning. But when you have Luke saying, hey, I sense the good in you. Mm-hmm. And Vader, in a moment of vulnerability, says it's too late for me.
Yeah.
And part of the arc, part of the Vader arc is really about the seduction of power, et cetera. Like, and so, that can be another template. Like, you need Miranda again, like, hey, I recognize this is hard on you. I what I witnessed, et cetera. You can have her very vulnerably say, like, it's too late.
Yeah.
I can't undo this, which then allows her to really have a moment to make that decision. Do I want to get there and perhaps have great regret, but feeling like I'm trapped? There's nothing I can do about it.
And again, in the end, because the only one that gets kind of an arc is Andy, again, the movie's telling me everybody else is wrong because Miranda does not change. There's nothing she learns from Andy at any point of this movie, which to me, an interesting character that deserves a sequel would have had a moment of, oh, maybe I can claw back just a little bit of this. Or you make her the true villain and have her, do something truly vilifying in it. Or give Emily some of that, but there's just no evolution.
Yeah, the film is 100% making a judgment call.
Yeah.
Which is actually contrary to what they do in that scene when Miranda talks about the sweater, et cetera, which I think actually should have been the kernel for both the audience and Andy to say, oh, there's a lot more to this.
Yes.
And that's what actually makes it interesting. That's what actually gets people excited, engaged, and ambitious about it. But they don't go that way. They continue to cast judgment on all these characters, which is unfortunate because it just is what it is. Some people are going to really like this life. And and arguably, and we're not even left at the end of the movie with a chance to think about, does Miranda actually like this?
That's a good point, actually.
Which would have been fascinating if you could get to the end and you're just like, I'm not actually sure she does.
Or was this just where she ended up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been interesting.
That could have been interesting. There was lots of opportunities and maybe, tonally the film becomes something very, very different, which I wouldn't have minded.
Well, right? maybe they dig into that in the sequel, and because you're the fan, you're going to have to see it and tell me.
Oh, I'm dragging you to the sequel.
I have no desire to go to Devil Wears Prada 2.
We're going to 4DX.
4DX. Moving seats.
You can smell the perfume.
Every spray of perfume, you're going to shock backwards. Oh, I would love if they gave us the Running Man again, but in Devil Wears Prada 2, just out of nowhere.
You're gonna watch the Devil Wears Prada 2 with the Running Man programming.
Yeah, they forgot to switch it. So I think that's pretty much our time. There's any closing thoughts on Devil Wears Prada? Anything that we haven't talked about you'd like to summarize?
Well, I think the conversation highlights for me that, it's certainly not a perfect film. But there was something there.
Yes.
It needed help. And then, which is, too bad. Like I agree. It's an all-star cast.
Yeah. Those top four are incredible. So good at the top of their game.
How about you? Any,
Yeah, I agree. There's kernels in scenes. Individual scenes have moments where it's like, oh, that might be a good movie. Or that might be a good movie. But even between those scenes, that controlling idea, what it's trying to say, changes and shifts throughout. And there's no nuance to it. There's clearly one winner, even though there's no reason for it. So to me, it would be a not recommend. But it's tough to say, too, because, man, those four are sure charming. And those scenes that work, like the scene with Miranda and Andy where Miranda's vulnerable. Yep. It's like, ooh, that's a good scene right there.
I don't. And I know I texted you this. I'm not sure this film gets a sequel or is even talked about if you don't have Meryl Streep. Like,
that's probably fair.
Well, and then unfair because there's lots of wonderful actors who could be in that role. But I just want to highlight, like, she is so good.
Yes, she is.
It elevates the whole thing.
Yeah, and I would even argue if you don't get all four of those main characters back, you don't recast Tucci as somebody else.
Totally.
You don't replace... And Emily Blunt would feel like the one you wouldn't get back because I feel she's become too big a star and commands too much of a paycheck probably for that. But you need all four.
Did you see Emily Blunt in the Mary Poppins sequel?
Oh, boy. Okay. I saw the Mary Poppins sequel the day Maria was born.
Oh.
So I remember very little of it because it was after Maria was born. And we were trying to make sure Ben didn't feel neglected, but also left us alone for the day while we recovered. And by say we, mostly Ava, but I was also tired, as I am. Yeah. So I remember her being good, but just not Julie Andrews good.
Well, I would say, and this was going to be my big pitch about Emily Blunt. I thought she was tremendous.
Okay.
I thought she was a true, what's the word I'm searching for? Passing of the baton, the
torchbearer,
a legacy, whatever.
Flamethrower.
I thought she was very much on par. Like no one's Julie Andrews. Julie Andrews is of course a legend, but she brought so much to that role, which is like, I'm recasting Mary Poppins. Like this is.
Well, and
she succeeds. And so I think she is just a brilliant actress.
She is. She's absolutely fantastic. I'm going through my hazy memories.
Worthy successor.
Okay. Yeah. If anybody's gonna succeed Julie Andrews, that is a good choice. And from what I remember liking her in it, but I think actually my issue was more with the writing. And I felt the writing felt like they didn't totally get who Mary Poppins was. And they made her too fun and whimsical.
Oh.
Because if you go back to the original Mary Poppins, Bert is fun and whimsical. Mary Poppins is very spit-spot, like rule book following. And she just happens to have this magic that allows her to...
Well, she's a witch, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
Have you read like the stuff online that like Mary Poppins is a Hogwarts graduate?
No, I haven't read that.
Anyway, it's hilarious.
That's what I'll be doing this
And
week.
it fits.
It does make perfect sense just at a high level saying that.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, what do you think? I want to thank you for listening to us. And I want to make sure that you keep supporting us. So slam that like button, slam that subscribe button, and most of all,
Slam evil.
evil. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for listening to this episode of JaZ Make a Podcast. For more JaZ Make a Podcast, be sure to follow us on your social platform of choice, as long as that choice is Instagram. You can find us at JaZ Make a Podcast. That's JAZ Make a Podcast.